Hello. I hope everyone's doing well tonight. Thank you for coming to watch this video on the War Life with Mikkel. I'm Mikkel. I'm going to use tonight's video to really just vent. And I hope that I have moms and dads that, like myself, are going through situations where they are either looking for a way out of an abusive relationship, um, or you're out of that abusive relationship and you have been for some time. But here's where my story comes in, and maybe you can relate. I've been divorced for over 4 years, since April of 2021. And at the time of my divorce, we had two children that were adults and one that was still living at home, also with special needs. Now, you know as well as I do that during a divorce, the courts will create what's considered a parenting plan, and that both parents under that parenting plan are to follow the rules of that plan for the best interest of the child. Now, at the time of my divorce, I received both sole physical custody. So I had my little guy all the time, 24/7, still do. And I made all the educational decisions, all the medical decisions, and so forth. His father had supervised visitation. Now, since that time of the divorce, he has not once followed a single solitary thing for any length of time, if at all, on that parenting plan. However, and you tell me in comments, please join me. If you've not subscribed to this channel, no, I'm so glad that you're here. You have a voice. I want you to have a voice through this channel. I want to connect with everybody that, is either gone through or is going through an abusive situation. And maybe it's not just this guy or this gal that you've been with, whether through marriage or your boyfriend, girlfriend, but you have experienced a form of abuse. They may or may not be a narcissist, but you have been abused and you know you've been abused and you no longer are going to accept that abuse, and you maybe are still in it, or maybe you're out of it. This is the place for you. Come here. I'm going to tell you my 27 years of abuse. And that was just in marriage. I also had abuse as a child. And I haven't uncovered that exactly in these videos, as my channel is really just beginning. I'm a young channel, if you will. And so I'm going to uncover all of the things that I went through, the things that I wish I had known then, how I got out, and what I've been doing since then for recovery purposes, and to help myself and my children. Again, I have two grown adult children, but one that still lives at home. I will tell you this: if you have gone through what I have gone through or any similarity, please leave a comment. And it's this: we get that parenting plan right. We make that disconnect. We make that divorce. We figure out the parenting plan. The courts make a ruling. They hand you the papers. You go home and you think, okay, well, I'm going to follow what's on in these documents. And you expect that your spouse is going to do the same. Now, you come out of an abusive relationship. That person has never done what they were supposed to do. Well, there's my naive self again. And I was expecting, oh, well, it's the law. He's going to do what the law says, right? No. To this very day, I'm over 20 some $1,000 in court fees, as this man continues to not abide by any of those parenting plans and continues to take me to court. And now I am in court still to this day because he wants to modify that plan that he has never followed and get unsupervised visitation. No. No. And the sad part of it is we've already been to court over this, and I find that the courts are so apathetic Where are the people that want justice? Where are the people that want to protect the victim instead of penalizing the victim or giving rights to the one who hasn't done the right thing? You know, the abuser. And that's what I'm finding over and over again. He really doesn't get what he wants. At the same time, though, he keeps going back again and again and again, and he gets a little something, just a little something. And that little something, like an extra hour of supervised visitation, just gives him that fuel that he is looking for to control me and to control our lives and to put us in a position of distress. And that's where he keeps us. So I'm going to title today's video where the living dead never die. And I'm just going to say that. You know, it's biblical that those who reject the truth of God's love, of God's Son, are just the living dead. And the Bible says God is love. Well, I'll tell you this. The man that I was married to knows nothing about love. He knows about abuse. So he doesn't know love, then he's a dead man walking. And the dead never die. And I say that to say this. These abusers, some of them, never leave you alone. They keep coming. They keep, especially with my situation, I was married to a covert narcissist. Yes, covert narcissist. Let me explain that. They leave everybody, everything they ever were connected or attached to or owned without notice. And that's what he did. It was Christmas Eve 2020, and he left after an anger fit that he threw in front of my mother, and a daughter and myself and our son on foot in 20-some degree weather, walking alongside of a highway for hours or miles anyway, and went missing for 4 days. I had a detective looking for him. And during that time, we thought he was dead. Here I am. I've been abused by this man emotionally, mentally, verbally, physically, and I'm out walking the highway in the cold looking for his dead body. And finally, the detectives find him 4 days later, hours away in some homeless shelter, not far from where some of his family lived, his mother. And yes, you won't believe this. I get in my car. He obviously doesn't want to see us. Thank God he's gone. We had a plan. We were going to tell him we were going to go to the town where he grew up in. He loved this particular barber shop. He was going to get a haircut, and we were going to leave him there in hopes that and call a family member in hopes that they would come get him and give him a place to stay because his abuse had gotten so bad. We felt helpless. I felt helpless. It was horrible. And he ends up walking out. It was a miracle, a miracle. But going back to that, the detectives find him 4 days later in a homeless shelter, hours from where he walked away from. And I drive there like an insane woman with his clothes, with food, with money, in the rain, in the dark, in a city that I am unfamiliar with. Oh, my word. And you know what? The guy rejects to receive any of what I brought him or to even look me in the face. He's a coward. And I called a friend crying, called the police, local police, and called a friend crying. The friend said, "Go home to your children. Stop playing his games." How many times, I'd like to ask you, have you run after your narcissist? How many times have you taken off after your narcissist who beat you, who neglected you, abused you in every sense, and here you are still giving handouts. I have to ask myself why. Well, there's a term for it which is eluding me at the moment, but it's a toxic bond that we have with our abusive lovers. And some of you are going, this is what it's called. So I apologize. It's just, like I said, it's eluding me for the moment. But that bond, and especially when we as women have had children with these men, makes it so hard because we thought, oh, this was it. I wanted to be with this man for the rest of my life, and I can change him and he'll change. And, if I do better, give more, he'll see that and do a turnaround. Bull. He won't. And I'm here to tell you, at 50 years of age, he will never, ever change. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are. It doesn't matter how successful you are. It doesn't matter how sweet you are. It doesn't matter how much you cater to him. He will never be right to you. And that's not okay. It's not okay that you're okay or that I was okay with any form of abuse. You were not made to be abused. And I understand the connection you have with that person. Trust me, I understand. My husband and I got together at 19. I started having babies at 21. And it's hard after 27 years just to part ways, even after you've been abused and in tears most of those years and isolated. I know you feel isolated. But if you're being criticized, if you're being belittled, if you're being ignored, if you're being raged at, if this is a continual pattern that you are going through, you may have a narcissist on your hands and you may be accepting narcissistic abuse. This is a form of domestic abuse. Any type of mental, verbal abuse, it's physical. It's not just physical. It's anything that makes you feel less than a person, less than human. I was a shadow of myself for years. I'm still trying to find myself, and I'm still fighting this guy who I found out during my divorce had sexually abused both of my children. I only found out about one and recently found out about the other. So he wasn't just abusing me. He'd been abusing them. And now he wants unsupervised, which I got. Again, I'll go back. Supervised visits. And now he's coming in saying he wants unsupervised visits. No way. No way. And the courts, they do very little to look into the truth. And I have recorded everything. Trust me, every piece of paper, every text, every email, I've got it on paper. But finding someone who will really, take your case and present it the way it is so that you can show this guy's a liar is not always easy, even when you think you hire the best of lawyers. So, I want to tell you, don't go as far as I went. 27 years again. Don't do it. They will tell you lies as, no one will believe you. I'll hurt you if you try to leave. If you leave, you'll lose the children. They will tell you all types of lies. All types of lies. And then maybe you've left the narcissist, but you begin to hear from them again. It's called hoovering. They come back in. They try to pull you back in. I'm sorry. I do love you. I do love the kids. We can work this out. No. No. He or she will never, ever change. Don't do what I did and stay and end up your children get harmed. You're half of who you are. You're a shadow of yourself coming out of that marriage. And then you end up still fighting them in the courts years after your divorce. I'm going to create a support group. And like I said, my channel is new, but I'm asking you to come along with me on this journey of narcissistic domestic abuse, whatever it is. Whether you've been married, you're not married, you're a man, you're a woman, you have children, you don't have children, join me, because this is not okay. And we need to be a voice. And I'm telling you, I don't think our legal system is supporting the victims. But I will tell you where I'm seeing things get done, and that's in social media. That's for content creators, people with channels that are standing up against SA, that are standing up against any kind of abuse and saying no more. And those are the Christian people, believers, that are saying no more. We're seeing this in the church, and they want to cover it up because of their name or because of a concern of the loss of their money, you know. But here's the deal. We were made in the image of the Almighty God, and we are never to allow anyone to tear that image down. Not in here and not out here. You were made by love, which is God. And my friend, you were made for love. And I want to tell you, if I could hug you through the screen, I would. Because I know what it's like to be balled up, to have your head in a pillow and just be weeping and crying because you are so isolated, you feel so alone, and it feels like no one understands. And that's what your narcissist wants to do to you, wants to isolate you and keep you from believing that you have any sanity. See, you're the crazy one is what they tell you. But the truth is there are those who will support you, and I want you to find that support system starting here. So subscribe. I'm going to just stay with me. I'm going to be creating a support group, which will be on another platform, and I will create a link for that in the next 30 days or so. And I would love for you to join that. And it will be a place where we can talk, we can get all of this out, and a place of healing, because I'm going to provide through that resources and bring people in that have survived domestic abuse situations that can lift you up, encourage you, give you some direction, and help you navigate whatever it is you're going through, where you're at in life, in all of this relationship junk, and get you into a place where you're whole, and get you into a place where you can find and feel safe within a relationship that supports you as an individual. And so continue to watch. Please subscribe, as I said, and just know that you are loved, and know that you are not alone. There are many of us out here, moms and dads, that we're fighting. We're fighting for our rights as parents to protect our children from these abusers. And we are fighting to say enough is enough. No more are we going to put up with being torn down. So tonight, I hope that you have a safe place. And if you don't, I hope that you will create a plan and a support group, a friend, family, legal assistance, and find your way out, and don't do what I did and stay for 27 years. I love you. I'm praying for you, and I hope to connect with you soon. Good night.